All right, take three. Having some technical difficulties today, but I am determined to get you guys the end of this training today. So hopefully you can hear me. All right, looks like the audio works. You know what, Facebook? You can't stop me, Facebook. I'm going to make sure these guys get their training today. All right, I'm looking down because I want to make sure I'm tagging everybody. And this is part 2. I'm going to put that in the comments of today's training. Okay. All right, let's keep going here. So bottom line, where we left off before Facebook kicked me off my own platform here, is I was going over my signature method with you guys to be really clear on where we are focusing today. Okay, so where we're focusing today is right up here. Okay, we're focusing today on the choose your niche piece of my signature method, right? Where we left off was we're talking about curtains up, launch your brand. Part 4, client attraction system. And there is a system that you want to create to attract clients, and then closing the deal, right? That's the sales part that you have to get really comfortable with and start looking through a different lens than, oh, I'm trying to sell thing. It's more about serving, right? And coaching people to a yes or a no, and finding out, what is right for them, whether it's with you or somebody else, right? So these are the 5 C's. We're going to focus on a piece of part 1, a piece of part 1 today. All right, so before Facebook kicks me off again, if you're catching me with video number 3, if I haven't lost you all at this point, give me a hashtag live and drop into the chat, or hashtag replay at this point. I have a feeling a lot of you are catching a replay after this. Video has struggled to go live 3 times. Drop into the chat your number 1 goal for March. Based on your goal, I may be able to pull from my vault of free training videos a video that corresponds to what you need help with. All right, really important. So let's get into today's training. Take out your pens and paper if you're using old school, or get your typing fingers ready, okay? We're talking about how to write an effective niche statement that will actually attract clients. All right, so I want to kick off here real quick with the definition of a niche. The definition of a niche, okay? Really important. A niche is a specialized segment of the market for a particular kind of coaching service. Okay, so I'm underlining it's a specialized segment of the market. We're not selling to the whole market. It's a specialized segment of the market. And we're selling a particular kind of coaching service. We're not just selling any old coaching. Oh, I could coach you on your relationship. I could coach you on health. I could coach you on, and the truth is you could coach them on all of that. But from a marketing standpoint, to want to be able to attract clients effectively, you want to pick a particular kind of coaching service. That's your niche, right? So to be really clear, to kick off today, why is having the right niche and messaging going to help you attract clients? There's 3 main reasons. So I really want to get your buy-in before we get into the how. Choosing a niche and being very clear with your niche statement is going to make life easier on you, the entrepreneur, the coach, right? So here's why. Number 1, you'll be able to have one signature method and one package versus having to come up with a new coaching method, a new type of package for every kind of client you're working with, right? When you have a niche and you're solving one specific problem and you're coaching to one specific outcome, you're not gonna need a bazillion methods, signature methods, right? You'll have one signature method of how to get them from pain to dream. You'll have one set of deliverables. You'll have one outcome you're coaching them to. So that's going to make life easier for you. Otherwise, you're going to have to reinvent the wheel with every different type of client you're coaching, and that is tiring, to put it lightly. Why else is having an effective niche statement and a niche going to make it easier on you as a coach? It's going to be easier to write social media copy. When we write social media copy, we're writing copy to one specific person. So in our heads, we're imagining that we're writing copy to that one ideal client avatar. And if you have a bazillion different types of people you work with, it's really hard to write copy that's going to resonate with them because it's too generalized. So that's why you want to pick a specific segment of the market. You write copy and they think to themselves, oh my gosh, how'd you get in my head? How did you know this about me? Right? So it'll be easier to write social media copy. It'll be easier to write website copy to that specific audience. It'll be easier to attract clients to you. All the time, I'll tell you, most of the clients that end up working with me at some point have said to me, you know, Betty, I read your copy on your website, or I read one of your social media posts, and it's like you were in my brain. It's like you were in my brain. And that's the idea, right? We're so specific that we can be in somebody's brain the way we're describing their pain, their problems, their dreams, their outcomes. Okay? Choosing your niche is the foundation for the rest of your business. It's not a one and done. It's the foundation for the rest of your business. Okay. And this is why we, get into this in module 1 of my academy. Why else is having the right niche and messaging going to help you attract clients? A niche attracts more clients to you by making it faster for you to make sales and easier for you to make sales. Why? Couple of reasons. Number one, typically humans who have some kind of specific urgent problem that they're willing to pay anything for help with that problem, they want to work with an expert versus a generalist, right? So and this happened to me before, I was looking to hire a health coach. I'm looking online at all these kind of general health coaches. They helped everyone. And then I found this one specific health coach talking about, I help women in their 40s, specifically with mindset, accountability, and nutrition when it comes to health. And I thought, that is exactly what I'm looking for. And she's talking to me. I hired her immediately upon reading her website. Okay. So your niche, your copy, your messaging is going to make it easier for people to want to work with you. People want to work with experts in their specific area versus generalist. People also would rather work with someone who specifically solves their problem versus someone who solves any problem. I'm using an example of a health coach, right? So say I'm a health coach and I'm like, yeah, I help anybody. If you're a guy, you want to gain muscle, yeah, I'll help you. You're a woman who's in menopause, I'll help you. You're a gal in your 20s, you're getting ready for a bathing suit competition, I'll help you. I don't want to work with that person. I want to work with the person who's specifically helping me, right? So you might think, well, Betty, but now I'm turning all these people off. What if they would have worked with me? I'm telling you, who they will end up working with is going to be the coach that is catering to their specific outcome. Okay, it's a win for you to be specific, because you will attract all those specific people out there looking for help with that thing. Last but not least, why is having the right niche and messaging going to help you attract clients? Your niche is going to position you as an expert authority in the market. Okay, it's not just about, Betty, I have a niche, I'm a career coach, I'm good here, right? I help executives, up level their leadership or whatever. I have a niche, Betty, I'm good. It's not just about having a niche, I'm good, right? It's about positioning you. So the first step is get a niche. The second step is write effective messaging so people are attracted to that niche. They understand that you're talking to them. And the third step is, now we need to position you as an expert authority in your space. So one of the things I do with my clients is we take a look at some of the competitors, and we're going to position you amongst them as an expert authority in your space. That's my goal for each of my clients. That's my goal for all of you. It's not just about having a niche. It's about being the expert authority in that space. So somebody says, oh, you need help with your relationship, you got to meet Marie. She's the ultimate relationship coach. She's all over LinkedIn, right? She's the expert in that space. All right. So that's my TED Talk about why it's so important to have that niche, okay? Now, let's talk about how to write that effective niche statement. So if you're with me, again, take out your pens and papers and journals, or get your typing fingers ready, right? This is the golden nugget right here. How to write an effective niche statement. You need to solve an urgent problem that people are willing to pay for. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. You need to solve an urgent problem that people are willing to pay for. Okay? If you can do that with your niche, and when I say solve, you're coaching to help them solve, right? By asking the right questions, etc. An urgent problem that they would pay anything to have help solved, right? Important. So look at your niche statement and ask yourself, does my niche statement reflect that? Okay. Again, if we want it to be profitable, which we do, right? When it comes to our business and our niche statement, you need to focus, again, write this down. You need to focus on solving a problem that people are already looking for help with. Okay, let me say that again. You need to focus on solving a problem that people are already looking for help with. Okay, if you look at your niche statement and you're talking to people and you're like, Betty, I'm having to explain to people, why this is important for them. I'm having to explain people. Okay, that's a problem. You should not be inventing the problem and then convincing people they need help. Wrong. Okay? You should not be inventing the problem and then convincing people they need help. You need to focus on solving a problem people are already looking for help with. Okay? That should be reflected in your niche statement. So again, take out your pens and papers, right? Lots of you have heard this formula before. I help who with what so that. And I'll put that in the comments. Let's see if that does anything wild, like stops the video on me. I help who with what so that. We'll see if that works. I put that in the comments. We'll see if that shows up. I help who with what so that. I help who with what so that. Okay, make sure you write that down. I help who with what so that. Okay, looks like the comment came through. So let's break that down for a minute. Who is who? Who is your ideal client avatar? Who is your ideal client avatar? That unicorn person you want to work with. Couple key things when you're choosing the who. One, I want you to make the who so specific, you're a little bit scared. So if you're coming to me like, Betty, it's so specific, I'm a little nervous, it's too specific, good. You probably are specific enough. If you're not a little bit scared on how specific you are, you probably need to get more specific. Write that down. Make it so specific, you're a little bit scared. Number two, right? And when we think about positioning, if possible, and there are many ways to position yourself so you're attracting the right clients to you, and you should only be getting on discovery calls with people who are qualified. Side note, if you can, when you describe the who, position it in a way so that you are attracting clients who can already naturally afford your coaching package, right? So think about when you're describing the who, how specific can you get in the descriptor? And you think about the price of your package and you think about this ideal client avatar that you're like, ooh, that'd be my unicorn person. Is there a way you can describe the who and position yourself so that person, they don't bat an eyelid at your package price? They're like, yep, as long as it solves my urgent problem, right? So think about that. Can I make my who so specific that I can position myself in a place that by the time I get to my discovery call, they are able, right? There's not an issue with them being able to pay for the package. So think about that, right? Talking about the what. So we talked about the who. I help who with what so that. The what. The what is the action you are helping them to take. Write that down. The what is the action you are helping them to take. So there's some kind of action you're helping them to take. What are you helping them with? What is the action you're helping them to take? Write that down. The so that. I help who with what so that. The so that is the ultimate result, goal, desire, or outcome. Write that down. The so that is the ultimate result, goal, desire, or outcome. Okay? By the way, this should be in their words, your ideal client avatar's words. This should be their water cooler talk, how they talk to their friends and colleagues about the problem. This shouldn't be you coming up with how to describe the problem in your own brain, right? This is what we teach our clients to do in the academy. You actually have to get out there, do some market research to identify how does my ideal client avatar describe the problem and describe the goal they want to achieve. Okay, really important. So when you talk about the so that is at the bottom of everything. When it comes down to it, what's the ultimate result, goal, desire, or outcome you're helping them achieve? I want you guys, when you think about writing your niche statement, and by the way, feel free to drop your niche statement in the comments and I'll give you feedback. Feel free to drop your niche statement in the comments. I'll give you feedback. Go for clarity over cute or coachy. Write that down. When it comes to your niche statement, go for clarity over cute or coachy. Okay, if you're using all these coachy words, or if you're like, I want to make it cute and catchy, you know, kind of like a commercial, wrong. We're going for clarity. If you confuse them, you lose them. Okay, so next is what I call a niche statement cross-check. A niche statement cross-check. By the way, if you want, I do have a full set of notes for today's lesson, and I have the cross-check in a Google Doc. If you want that, send me a DM and say cross-check. Send me a DM and say cross-check, and I'll flip you over the cross-check. It's a checklist. So you can hold it up against your niche, but for today, I'm going to verbally go through it. And if you're listening, write this down. Otherwise, DM me cross-check and I'll get you this list. Okay, so cross-check number one. Once you write your niche statement, we're going to do a cross-check. Cross-check number one. By the way, all answers must be yes for you to proceed, for you to pass go, for you to collect 200. Okay, cross-check number one. Does your niche statement reflect solving a specific, urgent problem that people are already looking to solve? Does your niche statement reflect solving a specific, urgent problem that people are already looking to solve? Yes or no? Question number two. Does your niche statement use the exact words that your ideal client avatar, your unicorn client, does it use the exact words that your ideal client avatar uses to describe their problem and goal? Right? So this is part of what I teach in the academy. I give you guys scripts and questions to ask so you can get out there and talk to your ideal client avatars. We got to get their words. So does your niche statement use the exact words? It can't come from just your brain. It's got to come from their mouths. Okay, does it use the exact words your ideal client avatar uses to describe their problem or goal? So in the academy, we give you a script so you know how to reach out to people, how to find your ideal client avatar. We teach you how to do that. And then after you get all of your feedback, in the academy, we give you something called a trend worksheet where you can take all the answers and look at the trends. We're trying to look at the trends, right? What are most people saying about the problem or the outcome, okay? Question number three. does your niche statement avoid using coachy words? And I know this hurts our hearts as coaches. We love our coachy words, but unless your ICA is a coach, you can't use coachy words. You got to use their words. Okay, so look at your niche statement. Are you using coachy words? I'm talking about words like abundance, right? Clarity, empowerment, authentic, inner voice, right? That's our language. Okay, so throw that out. Make sure you're describing your niche statement in their language. Okay. Number four, is your niche statement so clear that if your ideal client avatar saw it, they would immediately know you are speaking to them? No questions asked. They read that statement and they're like, woof, she's talking to me. She's talking to me. They immediately know. If they don't get it, like I said, you confuse them, you lose them. If they're like, I don't know, she said leader. Am I a leader? I'm not sure. She said mom, but what type of a mom, right? So if they don't get it, that you are talking to them, you're going to lose them. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5, is your niche statement so clear that your 12-year-old niece would understand what you do? Yes or no? Now, here's the idea behind this. When I worked in corporate communications, believe it or not, even though I was writing copy to full-grown adults, I had to write in what they would call a sixth grade reading level, because people just want clarity so they can get to the next thing, right? They don't want it to be confusing or too many words, etc. So 6th grade reading level. So you can imagine yourself at the next Thanksgiving dinner and 12-year-old niece comes up to you, or nephew, and Aunt Mary, what do you do for a living? And you give them your niche statement, not a big blah, 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 blah. You give them your niche statement. If they're not able to be like, oh, okay, I get it, and explain it to somebody else, it's too confusing. You need to simplify it, okay? Last but not least, is your who in your niche statement so specific that if you hired a virtual assistant, which some of you might do, which is part of what I teach in my program, if you hired a virtual assistant, would they be able to outreach for you to that specific group on LinkedIn today? So imagine I wove a magic wand and I handed you a virtual assistant for the day. And I said, go wild, right? And you had your niche statement and you knew you had to build your audience so you could start outreaching to people and more people could see your social media. So you told your virtual assistant, I want you to connect to 20 people on LinkedIn for me today that would align with my niche statement, with my ideal client avatar. Your VA, from looking at your who and your niche statement, your virtual assistant, would they understand exactly, oh, I know who to go for? Or would they be like, you said professionals. Everybody on LinkedIn is a professional. Who am I? How do I even start outreaching? So I want you guys to think ahead, right? When it comes to outreaching, be specific enough so when you send somebody a connection request, they understand why you're connecting to them, right? If you say something like, I help professionals, everybody on LinkedIn is a professional. You get where I'm going with this? So again, I verbally went through that cross-check. If you want that checklist, or what I'm calling a cross-check, DM me and just say cross-check, and I'll flip you over the Google Doc with the cross-check. Okay, I hope this was super helpful for y'all today. By all means, if I have anybody catching the replay, since I know I lost a couple of you when I had to go live and then we had no audio and then I went live and then the video froze. But if you're catching the replay or if you're still here with me live, by all means, throw your niche statement into the comments, tag me, and I will give you feedback on your niche statement. Otherwise, be rest assured this is what I teach in my academy. This is what we teach in our program. Okay, there's a whole module devoted to all things niche messaging, positioning, etc. All right, y'all, I hope this was super helpful for you today. The big FYI, the big reminder is there is an upcoming free workshop on client attraction system, 3-step client attraction system, and it's how to attract clients before you've even launched, while you're still at your corporate job, right? You're making money on the side while you're still at your corporate job. You haven't even launched yet, right? So a really important lesson. And even for those of you that have been coaching for a minute or two, this is important too, because we're going to be talking all about how kind of the easiest way, the fastest way to get clients, regardless of where you are in your coaching journey. And we're going to be talking about the system of how to do that. Okay, so it's going to be a really powerful workshop. Be sure you register. Be sure you register. I'm going to drop that registration link one more time into the chat. It's also in the copy that goes with the chat. Let's see here. There we go. So I'm dropping it into the chat. And make sure you register. Once you register, you will get collateral, right? You'll get our workbook that goes with the boot camp, the workshop. You'll also be able to, if you can't catch every single live workshop, we will have replays sent to you as well. But you've got to get on the registration list, okay? Really important. For any of those of you who are watching, who are already registered, welcome. Welcome to the Build a Six-Figure Coaching Business Facebook group. Send me a DM, right? I would love to connect with you 10 or 15 minutes just to customize this experience for you, right? I love connecting to people before we even get started with the workshop, so I can customize the experience for you based on where you're at, maybe give you some free training, let you know which specific training to attend, etc. Get you locked and loaded and ready. So send me a DM if you want to connect with me on a quick 10, 15 minute connect call. All right, y'all, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Have a wonderful weekend coming up too, and I will catch you next week. Next week, we'll go back to our regularly scheduled program, which is Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great week.